of arranged marriages, Abigail's parents said, "This is the best situation for my daughter." And the next thing you know, this beautiful woman who has the brains to go with beauty is married to a fool. I was thinking about using that as a title of the sermon, but I thought there'd be misunderstanding if we didn't build up to it this way. Because you don't want to come to church and see as the title of the message is "Married to a Fool." But Abigail, because of the situation in their culture at the time, was married to a fool, who also, it says, was harsh and cruel. So now you have two men who are fired up and about to do something wrong, and the only sane person in the situation is Abigail. The only sane person in the situation who has a chance to do the right thing is Abigail. And she is just the wife. She is not the powerful one. She doesn't have the sword. All she knows how to do is cook. And guess what she does? She cooks. How does she save the situation? She cooks. She loads up several donkeys with food. You ought to sign her up for chicken pie dinner. She can handle this kind of stuff. And she runs out to meet David. Because she understands the problem as well. The problem is not that David is upset. The problem is that David's men are hungry. So she meets David and she said, "I'm sorry, I didn't hear what happened when, the men didn't come to me when you had the need." The interesting thing about Abigail, her main worry at this point was not herself, certainly not the fool she was married to. She was worried about David. She said, "I don't want you to have this on your hands. I don't want you to do something out of your emotions that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. You need to forget about that. Nabal is just a fool. Don't worry about him. And I know you need food, and here's a bunch of food." And David was, as they say down south, he was all het up. He had his sword on. And his men were with him, and they were all het up. Not only het up, but they were hungry, and they had their swords on. And now all of a sudden this woman shows up. Now, granted, she's cute. But she says, she talks to him like, "You need to hear what I have to say." And I don't know if it was the cuteness or the food, but it got him calmed down. And he says to her, "I'm glad you came and gave me some advice today. You saved me from doing something stupid." Maybe you guys have experienced that. I know I have. And she's cute too. When she says, "That's probably not the smartest thing to do," I listen to her. And David listened to Abigail. And he fed his men with the things that she had brought. Now see, this is really just the build-up to the story. But the real story is the conclusion, how it worked out. Because when somebody, in the midst of a crazy situation, when somebody does the right thing, it gives the Lord a chance to do His thing. And you see, this is the most important part of the story. This is the key to the whole thing. This is the key to what we need to understand. If we will do the right thing in the midst of a tough situation, it gives God the chance to do His thing. And when Abigail did the right thing, when these other two guys were doing the wrong thing, it gave the Lord the chance to do His thing, which was to take care of David, to take care of Nabal, and to take care of Abigail. He got David calmed down and provided for him. He took care of Nabal because when he woke up with a wicked hangover the next day, maybe that was the stone part. And Abigail told him what she had done. Somehow that sealed his fate, and 10 days later he was dead. Which took care of David and took care of Abigail. You see, that took care of David's problem, and it also took care of Abigail's problem. And then you have the happy ending, of course, because this is an American story. The guy gets the girl. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting when we read this. I don't know if you noticed the heading on chapter 25. It said, David befriends Abigail. Which gives you the impression that David's the one who's doing something wonderful. No, it wasn't. It was Abigail. I wanted to cross it out and check. Abigail befriended David. Because Abigail saved his life from being ruined by this situation that he had gotten into, being all upset. And then David, he'd been doing this all along. Remember I told you he went and helped this village that was attacked by the Philistines? He went and he helped other people. And now he heard that Abigail was on her own. See, you can't think about this from an American point of view. You think about it from an American point of view, and you think, oh, she's single again. And David's cute, and she's cute, so there you go. That's not the point. The point is Abigail was on her own now. She didn't have a husband to take care of her. She didn't have somebody to watch out for her and provide for her. And David said, I'll do that. And you see, you can't get away from the fact that she was cute. I mean, you just can't. It says it here. I mean, if that was not a factor at all, it wouldn't even say it in the Bible. But it does say that here. And of course, in American culture, that's the key thing. But the main thing is that God took care of Abigail. He got her out of a tough situation without her having to do anything but doing the right thing. And now she's taken care of for the rest of her life, like Nabal had promised her he would, in the wrong way. Every once in a while, we find ourselves in a situation like this. We find ourselves in a situation where the people around us are doing dumb stuff. And it's going to affect our lives. And the question at that point is, what should we do? And the answer we learn from Abigail is do the right thing. And if we find out, just like Abigail did, that it has a good effect on the people around us, it calms the situation down, and it gives God the chance to do His thing. And that's what we need most of all. We don't need to do our thing. We need to have God do His thing. And if we'll do the right thing, no matter what anybody else is doing, that gives God the chance to do His thing. Now, I can't promise you the guy is always going to get the girl. You know, that's the American side of the story, but that's not necessarily true. But I can promise you this, that God will always take care of you. And the pathway to that is doing the right thing. Even when everybody else around you is doing crazy things. Let's pray. Father, I thank you for this story you've given us. A very practical story of a tough situation where someone needed your help. And as Abigail did the right thing, you helped her in amazing ways. Father, help us to walk with you, to stay close to you, so that when we get in a tough situation, we can do the right thing to allow you to do your thing. I pray for anyone here this morning who's in a situation like that. Help them to do the right thing, that they might see your hand in their lives and in the lives of those around them to make a difference. Help each of us to walk along with Jesus, to learn the right things and to do them, that you might have freedom and to do your thing in our lives that would bring blessing and joy to us. We ask in Jesus' name, amen.